I'm going to do my very best to try to help somebody today and remind myself at the same time. Today I'm going to talk about communication. A lot of stress, a lot of arguments, a lot of miscommunications, a lot of things can be avoided by healthy communication. Never assume somebody knows what you're thinking or how you feel or what you need at that very moment. If they're not doing it, communicate to them. Just use your words. Say something. I will give you a pointer, ladies. We can't read minds. We can do a lot of things, but we cannot read your mind. Sometimes we don't know exactly what to do. Sometimes we need you to tell us what it is you would like us to do. And when you go, but I feel like he should know this. I feel like he should know this. I feel like I shouldn't have to tell you. It doesn't matter what you feel like. Express your feelings with your words and communicate. It's crucial. And remember this, it's not always what you say, it's how you say it. I was helping somebody move a fridge today, and they just bark and bark, and their tone is just extremely aggressive. It's like, chill out. You can say the same thing without yelling at people. So, healthy communication can save you a lot of grief, a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for here? It can just save you a lot of grief. So, if you feel like somebody's not doing what it is you were wanting them to do, and you feel like they should already know and they should do it, you should communicate that to them. At least give them a chance to let them know. And what they do with the information after that, okay, that's one thing. But if they don't know because you didn't say something, you really can't get mad at that person for it. It's more your fault than it is theirs. Because, when you don't communicate, it's just up for interpretation. Somebody could mean something or not mean something in a type of way, and you take it a certain way without asking questions or examining their heart or whatever on the certain topic or issue. You're going to jump to a conclusion that might not even be realistic. So, and think about this. We communicate in our relationship with God, our Creator, through prayer. The more time you spend in prayer and spend alone time with God, you start to learn His voice more, and you start to have a healthier communication. He communicates to you through His Word, and He'll speak to your spirit if you're willing to listen. And He wants us to pray. He wants us to ask. He wants us to communicate with Him. And it's not about religion, it's about relationship. And the healthier your relationship with God, by prayer and spending alone time with Him and getting to know Him and being able to hear His voice, said my sheep will know my voice. So don't assume stuff, and especially in the early stages of whatever ship you're entering, when it's still new and the person hasn't had time to know you enough and know your mannerisms enough to know what to do or say and communicate to you by spending time and everything with you. Don't jump to conclusions, especially early on, because they haven't had time to know and understand you enough to where they can read your mind a little bit better. So just don't assume. Don't jump to conclusions. Especially if they don't know your sleep schedule, they don't know your work schedule, they don't know these things yet. They don't know what time you're up, they don't know what time you're down, they don't know your typical routine. So don't jump to conclusions without at least asking them or voicing a concern, because you can miss out on something really good, and it's not fair to the other person. So save yourself some trouble and learn how to communicate in a healthy manner. And remember, it's not always what you say, it's how you say it. And I'll tell you this, messaging back and forth is not a good idea unless it's very surfacey or small talk. But on a deeper concern or issue or whatever, more personable thing, have a conversation. You can't do it face to face, FaceTime. You don't want to FaceTime, at least call and talk. Talk about it. Save a lot of relationships, a lot of friendships, businesses, partnerships. I mean, especially like for a guy like me, it's single. In the early stages, you're getting to know somebody or whatever. You can't really get to know somebody too much through messaging. You can get to know this, that, and the other, what their favorite color is or ice cream or whatever, but you're not going to know their mannerisms or their tones and things like that by messaging. So always communicate your concerns or whatever. It's just healthier. You might be surprised on what they say. They might say, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. Please forgive me, or I'll work on it. And then later down the road, if there's no change or whatever, you're not getting what it is you communicated, then you can, make a better judgment or do something based on that. That's it. Just learn to communicate. Healthy communication. Try not to jump to conclusions. Remember, communicate with your Heavenly Father in your relationship. It's no different with people here on earth. You got to learn how to communicate in a healthy manner. You're welcome.